Right friends, welcome back to Why and How. The first issue is International Yoga Day was celebrated on 21st June, and as per the news reports claimed by Baba Ramdev, 3 lakh people turned up at GMDC ground in Ahmedabad on the International Yoga Day to perform asanas, and he claimed that it entered into Guinness Book of World Records with 3 lakh people performing yoga at one place. And look at the next one. Indian naval ships Jyoti Shivalik Kamorta, they are on a port visit to Fremantle, Australia. And in this context, I would like to tell you two things. First one is OS Index 17. This OS Index is the bilateral maritime exercises between navies of India and Australia. They were held as part of the visit of these naval ships to Australia, and as part of Indian government's vision of Sagar. What is Sagar? The Prime Minister coined this word, security and growth for all in the region. So, as part of India's vision of Sagar, the Indian Navy is involved in assisting countries in Indian Ocean region for surveillance, search and rescue and other capacity building activities. Then look at the next one. To enhance the passenger experience by upgrading the existing fleet of coaches, the Indian Railways started ambitious program of retrofitting of coaches, and Indian Railways plans to ensure retrofitting of 40,000 coaches in the next 5 years by 2022 and 23. And what is the meaning of retrofitting? In the old coach, modern facilities are being given, better furnishings, aesthetics, better amenities, along with better safety features for safe and comfortable travel. So, this is one of the largest ambitious retrofitment programs, right? This is being taken up by Indian Railways. You can say one of the largest in the world. Then, if you look at the next one, government issued a notification to prevention of money laundering rules, and now it made it mandatory to provide Aadhaar to open a bank account and conduct a transaction of rupees 50,000 or more. So, 3-4 things please do not forget. One is Aadhaar is mandatory for applying for permanent account number. Second one is Aadhaar became mandatory for filing income tax returns. Third one is quoting of Aadhaar number is made mandatory for opening the bank account now, and the existing account holders are also asked to submit Aadhaar to the bank's latest by 31st December. Otherwise, the bank accounts will become invalid. Right, this is as per the rules circulated. Look at the next one. Dog meat festival. This is highly controversial. Several animal rights groups are opposing this dog meat festival. When someone is talking about this dog meat festival, please do not forget China. And when you look at Spain, these two festivals, please do not forget. One is San Fermin Festival, Spain. Second one is La Tomatina Festival, Spain. And when you look at India, please do not forget Jallikattu, Tamil Nadu, Kambala, Karnataka. Right? Let us look at the next one. India's first indigenously developed floating dockyard, and dry dock is different. Floating dock is different. What is meant by dry dock? Dry dock is the facility created nearer to the coast where the repairs of various ships, tankers, submarines will be undertaken. So, dry dock is different, floating dock is different. So, India's first indigenously developed floating dockyard. This is developed by L&T's Greenfield Shipyard at Kattupalli. Where is this Kattupalli? Kattupalli is near Chennai. This shipyard belongs to L&T, and they manufactured for the first time in India indigenously developed floating dockyard. Now this floating dockyard is expected to be placed at Port Blair for regular maintenance. And another important aspect, and these are the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Please do not forget, in the examination this was asked. This is Sumatra Island and this is Myanmar. Please do not forget. So when you are looking at maps, please keep an eye on the adjacent countries and surrounding countries. Not only land frontiers but also maritime frontiers are also very important, right? So this floating dock is going to be stationed at Port Blair, and if you go further, most of the docks for Indian Navy are land based, but the point to note here is Andaman and Nicobar Islands are earthquake prone, and the government thought floating option is the best option, and it is not only cost effective but also less time consuming. So remaining details I have given here, please go through it. And this is the difference between dry dock and floating dock. Look at the next one. Asian Development Bank and Government of India signed $275 million deal, signed $275 million loan for improving urban services in 64 small towns in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Look at the next one. The African Union is sending a fact-finding mission to Eritrea and Djibouti as tension mounts over the disputed border at one of the world's busiest shipping routes. Right here, the dispute is with regard to Dumeira Mountain and Dumeira Island. These are claimed by both the countries. Please look into this picture. This region is known as Horn of Africa. Horn of Africa. This country is very important. This is Djibouti because it is adjacent to this Bab el Mandeb. This is Bab el Mandeb. One side it is Yemen and on the other side it is Djibouti. And if you look further, this is Somalia, this is Eritrea, this is Ethiopia. These four countries are normally known as Horn of Africa. And when you are looking at this place, several countries established their naval bases nearer to Djibouti. What is the reason? Because this is the important trade route. This is Bab el Mandeb, that is a strait, important strait. This is a Strait of Hormuz, all of you are familiar with. This is Bab el Mandeb, and one side Yemen, the other side Djibouti, and Yemen is into civil war. Please do not forget. This is Somalia, and this coast, this is a Somalia coast that is prone for piracy, and because of piracy, several countries established their naval bases close to Djibouti to protect their vehicles, or you can say to protect their ships when they are passing through this region. So this region is very important, and here one small mountain and one small island is there here in this place, close to Eritrea on one side, Djibouti on the other side. You can say in the Red Sea there is one small island, that is Dumeira Island here. So that is the bone of contention between this Djibouti and Eritrea, or you can say between Eritrea and Djibouti, right? So this area is very important from examination perspective. Yesterday we discussed about various islands, Madagascar, we discussed about Reunion Island, Mauritius, Seychelles. These things we have discussed in the Indian Ocean, right? So while learning the current affairs, please keep watch on maps so that your examination preparation will become very easy. Look at the next one. European Space Agency has given green nod to the LISA mission. Basically, this mission is to detect gravitational waves. All of you are familiar with the LIGO observatory. 2 LIGO observatories are there in United States of America which captured the gravitational waves, and similarly for capturing the gravitational waves, LIGO observatory is expected to come up in India. These are land based. Then let us go to the space based. European Space Agency is coming up with 3 identical satellites. Please look into this. 3 identical satellites. They are separated by 2.5 million kilometers, and they will see lasers bounced between these 3 identical satellites. When lasers are bounced between these 3 identical satellites, then they will look for tiny perturbations in these light beams. If any perturbations are there in the light beams, these satellites will catch that. So, the warping of space-time that is generated because of merger of black holes. So, that warping in the space-time, space is 3-dimensional and space-time matrix, if any warping is there, that will be captured with the perturbations in the light beams which bounce between 3 identical satellites, right? So, this is LISA project. This is the initiative of European Space Agency. Please do not forget. And if you go further, Union Urban Development Minister handed over a check of rupees 1 crore to the Union Home Minister for contribution to Bharat Ke corpus. What is the purpose of Bharat Ke Bharat Ke is predominantly for the welfare of family members of not only armed forces but also paramilitary forces who have sacrificed their lives for the nation. Most important, not only armed forces but also paramilitary forces, whoever sacrificed their lives for the nation. This Bharat Ke corpus is primarily meant for welfare of these persons, right? A sudden change in the color of Bosphorus Strait. Please look into this Bosphorus Strait. This separates Europe from Asia. At the same time, it separates Turkey. At the same time, it separates the largest city of Turkey, that is Istanbul. And please do not forget, Ankara is the capital of Turkey, but Istanbul is the largest city which is situated in 2 continents, that is in Turkey. I am talking about the largest city of Turkey, and this is Bosphorus Strait, and this Bosphorus Strait is the gateway to Black Sea, you can see. And another important aspect is the Crimea is situated in Black Sea. This is annexed by Russia, and this Crimea, previously the territory of Ukraine, that is annexed by Russia. This is in Black Sea, and this is Sea of Marmara. This is Aegean Sea, and this is Dardanelles Strait. So, Cyprus is the country in Mediterranean. And please have a watch on the boundaries of Mediterranean Sea. They are quite frequently asked in the examinations. Here, this is all Greece and this is Turkey. So, these things please do not forget. And this is also Turkey. This is the portion within European region. So, Turkey is up to here, right? So, these things geographically. And the news item is this Bosphorus Strait, water changed its color. And what is the reason? This is due to the surge in the species of phytoplankton across the Black Sea. This is not due to pollution, and this is due to the surge in the numbers of microorganisms, which is also known as EHUCs. And this is nothing to do with the pollution, right? This is Bosphorus Strait picture after it turned, or you can say it changed its color. So, Bosphorus Strait separates Istanbul city into 2. Istanbul is the largest city in Turkey. Then the Federal Reserve raised interest rates for the second time. Whenever any advanced country is raising the interest rates, it is the signal that economy is stabilized, growth is satisfactory, inflation is satisfactory. Under those circumstances only, advanced countries resort to raising the interest rates, right? So, Federal Reserve, please do not forget, this is the Central Bank of United States of America. Here, central government increased the minimum support prices. So, minimum support prices are increased based on the recommendations of advisory body CACP, and what are the factors to be taken into account before arriving at minimum support prices. So these things please do not forget. These are the factors which it takes into account: cost of production, overall demand supply, domestic and international prices, and the likely effects of price policy on the rest of the economy. So after considering all these aspects into account, the minimum support prices will be decided. Generally, they are accepted by the government as recommended by CACP. Look into the next one. China launched its first Xray Space Telescope. What is the purpose? The purpose is to study black holes, pulsars and gamma ray bursts. And this hard X-ray modulation telescope, or HXMT, is named as InSight, and this will facilitate discovery of new activities of black holes under extreme gravity and density conditions. So that is the advantage of this. Please look into this. It was launched from its satellite launch center, which is situated in Gobi Desert in China. And Gobi Desert, please do not forget, that is situated across two countries, China and Mongolia. Then Ministry of Statistics Program Implementation started periodic labor force survey, and it was introduced in April 2017. And what is the present problem? India does not have proper labor statistics. The present practice is National Sample Survey Office looks at employment statistics once in 5 years through its household survey. That is one mechanism. The second mechanism is by the Labor Ministry. Labor Ministry, or specifically Labor Bureau, looks at the employment statistics of identified sectors. They are 8 sectors. So it tracks statistics only in 8 sectors once in 3 months. So you can say there is no reliable mechanism as on date in our country to track the employment statistics. So under these circumstances, now Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation is going to provide quarterly labor and employment data for urban India and annual data for rural India. So it will supersede earlier system where such system is available only for every 5 years. And the first release of data will take place in December 18. So as per the new methodology as undertaken by MOSPI, the data will be available on quarterly basis for urban India and at the same time annual basis for rural India, and the first set of information will be available in December 2018. And if you look further, this periodic labor force survey, or PLFS, will incorporate computer assisted personal interviewing, in which the field operators will use tablets to enter the data. And another important aspect is Ministry of Statistics is also considering developing annual survey of services on the lines of annual survey of industries. So these things please do not forget. Agricultural loan waiver is in the news, and in this context, these are the aspects which are important from preliminary perspective. Total outstanding agricultural loans around 13 lakh crores, out of which the major component are crop loans. Crop loans are around 8 lakh crores, around 5 lakh crores are term loans. So crop loans means for raising the crops, they are short term loans. What is term loan? Term loan is basically for purchasing agricultural implements, for developing agricultural land, for purchasing tractors, like that, for improving agricultural productivity in the long run. These term loans are given. So term loans are of long duration, crop loans are just for raising the crops. So overall, if you look at the agricultural credit, these crop loans are higher than term loans. Another important aspect from examination perspective, the total exposure of commercial banks is almost 75%. The total exposure of commercial banks in the total agricultural credit is around 70 to 75%, followed by exposure to cooperative banks and RRBs. Several students may have misconception that agricultural loans maximum given by cooperative banks RRBs. It is not correct. Maximum loans are given by commercial banks. So this is very important from examination perspective. Personal transfers by Indians living overseas, they are reducing. They have dipped to less than $60 billion. At one time, they touched almost 67, 68. At one time, they touched close to $70 billion. Now they are reducing. That is the real worry for our country. Now they are $59 billion. And this one, I will ask one question in the upcoming economy modules. I will explain there in detail what is the effect of reduction in overseas remittances by the Indians living abroad. So here at present this is $59 billion, but even then India is the top recipient of remittances, right? If you look further, household transfers and remittances are important source of funds for our country to stabilize balance of payments, because we got a deficit in mercantile trade. So as to balance it, this foreign remittances are important source, and the balance of payments are normally stabilized with 2-3 aspects. One is foreign direct investment, second one is overseas development assistance, third one is foreign remittances. But out of these, foreign remittances are considered to be the safe as well as almost stable. But unfortunately, after reaching a peak of around $67 billion, I have told you previously close to $70 billion, but as per some news reports, they touched around $69 billion or so. But in this news report, it was written as $67 billion. Please don't bother about the figures, and the fact remains they are reducing, right? Thales and Reliance Defence Limited announced their decision to form a joint venture to execute part of the offset obligations for 36 Rafale fighter jets, right? So all of you are familiar with India and France signing intergovernmental agreement for purchase of 36 Rafale fighter jets at about 59,000 crores of rupees, and there is one clause, that is offset clause. This is having 50% offset clause. So these are to be assembled or manufactured in India. So this is specific to defense purchases. So here, for undertaking that agreement, now joint venture was formed between Thales and Reliance Defence Limited. So these two things are very important from this news item, and please look into this picture. And as on March 31, 2017, gross NPAs are 9.51%. And the biggest point of worry is for public sector banks, it is 12%. Right? Pakistan said that it had begun building a fence along its border with Afghanistan to improve security. And please do not forget, there is a boundary line drawn by British rulers in 1896 between Afghanistan and the present day Pakistan. So this is Durand line. So here Afghanistan is not recognizing this line as international border, and this line runs through ethnic Pashtun territory, dividing families and tribes between two countries. So Durand line, this separates Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now Pakistan started building fence along its border, and it is objectionable to Afghanistan. Please look into this. This is the boundary between Afghanistan and Pakistan. India has renominated its serving candidate at International Court of Justice, the principal judicial organ of the United Nations. Justice Dalveer Bhandari received the renomination and will serve for a period of 9 years as Indian judge. And please do not forget, this International Court of Justice consists of 15 judges who are elected to 9-year terms by UN General Assembly and the Security Council. Right, look into the aspects of International Court of Justice or ICJ. We deliberated number of times about this. Please go through it. All the details are given here. It settles legal disputes submitted to it by the states. Individuals' disputes are not entertained. When the states are submitting disputes, now on behalf of Kulbhushan Jadhav, India has approached International Court of Justice. So, this is one important aspect. Please do not forget. So, with this, let us conclude why and how. Have a nice day. Thank you.